Hello and welcome. In this video, I'll be talking about creating a layout in Bettyblocks and about the layout components. Creating a layout for your wireframe in the Bettyblocks page builder saves you and other developers a lot of time when the app development starts. This is because the layout you have created for your wireframe can immediately be used by the developers when they start implementing functionalities. To create a layout in Bettyblocks, we use a responsive grid and the layout components. The first item, the grid system, consists of rows and columns in which you decide where and how an element is positioned. A row goes from the left to right side of your screen and can be split in 12 parts. A column is a section of your row as wide as up till one of these 12 parts, in which you can place content like images or text. If a column has a width of 4, this means it'll take up 1/3 of a row's width. So when a column has a width of 6, it takes up half. The reason we are defining our columns with parts is so that we can make our page responsive. You can set a different width for the 4 sizes of screens: small for mobile view, medium for tablet view, large for a laptop view, and extra large for a desktop monitor. Setting a different size for a mobile view versus a desktop view allows your content to dynamically adapt to your screen size, which would benefit the way people look at your layout. And luckily, during development, you can also change the way you would look at your layout by using the View options. These can be found at the left bottom of your page builder. The other items we need to create a layout in Bettyblocks are the layout components. These are specific components used to build a structure for our wireframe. The row component. It's not a component in your component set. However, once you place a column on your page, a row is automatically generated for you. You can place multiple items in one row. The row is basically the basis of your page. Columns. These can be used to create a custom grid. Use them for content placement and a responsive setup for your layout. The container component offers a frame for other components. Use the container to create a structure for your page. The container can be found in multiple forms: the standard, the fluid, and the drawer container. The box component gives you a set of different alignment and styling properties. Using the box component together with a grid can be used to set up the perfect format for your content. The grid component can connect to data and has more advanced options for aligning content components. A grid gives you more freedom over the way you display your data, for example. The paper component is a white square that is used to display content in a more pop-up kind of way. You can change the outline from the paper or give it a shadowy edge to make your content more floaty. The panel component allows you to display content with a title frame around it. Sort of like a paper component, make your content pop up a bit more. The expansion panel component is used so that anything inside this component can be hidden or shown by using the collapse or expand functionality this component uses. Use it to show or hide a big amount of data that you would normally not fully show on your page. A drawer is the ideal component for when you would want to create a vertical structure. For example, menus on the left-hand side of your application. A drawer consists of 2 components: the drawer sidebar and the drawer container. The drawer sidebar and container are both separate components that together create the drawer component. You can use these apart to create a drawer within a drawer, or use the sidebar to have multiple sidebars for smaller components, for example. And a pretty fancy component, the column layout component. Drag this onto your page and configure your layout together with the layout tool. Do keep this in mind that this tool only uses rows and columns, so for a more specialized layout, we recommend building it yourself with different layout components. However, if you want to go for a quick and easy, but pretty neat layout, use the column layout component. And aside from layout components, we have some navigation components. These can also be used for your layout structure. For example, the navigation bar component can be placed on top of your page as the header of your wireframe layout. Layout components all have different settings, and I'd like to invite you to try them all out to see what options fit your style and layout, but I will explain some of the generic settings to you, which you can find on most of the components. The width option of the components can be used to define how much of the page's width you want to use. Column width is based on the grid system and can be set different per viewport. Height for components is automatically set based on the component's content. However, you can change it by hand using the height option. This can be set per pixel or percentage based, which percentage means the percentage of the parent component it's in. The alignment option is used to decide from what edge of the component the content starts. You have the vertical and horizontal alignment options. If the stretch option is turned on in a component, it will take up as much space as possible within its parent container. The outer space option is a setting to change the margin of a column based on the size defined in the team builder. Use the outer space option to create more space around your component. The inner space option changes the padding of a column based on the sizes defined in a team builder. Use the inner space option to create more space inside of your component. Use the background color option to set a color from your team builder as a background color. In some cases, you can also check the extra background options box to insert an image as your background. Use the layout components together with its options to create the perfect layout for your wireframe. And remember, a layout created in the page builder can be reused for other pages. So the greater your layout, the faster you can develop spectacular new apps.